जय जय वृंदावनावासी जत जय द्विज पत्नी जय नागकन्यागण भक्ति तेज हरा पालो गोविंद चरण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री रस मंडल जय जय राधा श्याम जय जय रसलीला सर्वमानोरम जय जयोज्ज्वल रस सर्वरससार परकीय भावे जहाँ प्रजिते प्रचार जय जय राधे कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री जानव पाद पद्मा कुरिया स्मरण दीन कृष्ण दास कहे नाम संकीर्तन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे जय श्रील प्रभुपाद हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू सो मच माताजी हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for beautiful bhajan. Hare Hare Bol. So today we welcome her Grace Himangi Vishakha Mataji. And I should, Hare Krishna Mataji. I should tell you that yesterday afternoon I've informed Mataji that Mataji, the regular speaker is not coming and can you come and speak? And she got ready. And so today she's here. She's very good friend of mine, and that's why Mataji is always accepting such kind of requests. So thank you so much, Mataji. And yeah, go ahead, Mataji. Over to you.
For the seva, Mataji. Serving Bhagavatam, serving devotees is actually the instruction of our spiritual master. So we have to keep doing it whenever we get the opportunity. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripataham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all the Matajis and Prabhus. Hare Krishna. Mataji will have the screen, Mataji. We can start the shlokas. 3.29.21.
Yeah. Rohini Mataji, will you share? Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Is the screen visible?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, somebody can read the shloka. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma
Mataji.
avastita sada tam avagnaya martya kurute archa vidambanam. Yes, somebody read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma avastitah sada tamavajnaya mam matyaha kurute rishavidambanam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Somebody can read the translation, Mataji.
Prashanti Mataji, you can read the translation, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranam.
Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. I am present in every living entity as a super soul. If someone neglects or disregards that super soul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of the deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. Shall I read purport, Mataji?
No need, Mataji. We'll summarize the main points of the purport while we are
Thank you,
discussing.
Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Hare.
pranams.
Next verse.
Hare Krishna.
Ah.
Archana Mataji, you can read the shloka. Sorry, Mataji.
Yeah, please.
Yes, Mataji. Sudha Mataji, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, pranam Mataji.
Pranam.
Yo mam sarveshu bhudeshu santam atmanam ishwaram hitvarcham bhajade maudhyat basmani eva jhodisha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam.
Yeah.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who worships the deity of Godhead in the temples but does not know that the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is situated in every living entity's heart must be in ignorance and is compared to one who offers oblations into ashes. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Sarika Mataji, you can read the shloka. Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dvishitah parkaye mam manino bhinna darshinaha bhuteshu baddha vairasya namanaha shantim rachiti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna pranams Mataji. Purport by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. One who offers me respect but is envious of the bodies of others and is therefore a separatist never attains peace of mind because of his inimical behavior towards other living entities. Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Sharmila Mataji, you can read the shloka. Shubha Mataji, you can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aham uchchavachair dravyaihi kriyayotpanna yanage naiva tushye archito archayam bhutagrama vamaninaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Rajya translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by the worship of my deities in their temple. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
अर्चयेतावत् ईश्वरं मां स्वकर्मकृत् यावान्ना वेद स्वहृदि सर्वभूतेष्व अवस्थिताम्. Translation by His Divine Grace is Padma Mataji, you can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji, you go ahead, doesn't matter. Read, go ahead, Mataji.
No, Mataji, you can read. Mataji, Hare Krishna, please go.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Performing his prescribed duties, one should worship the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until one realizes my presence in his own heart and in the hearts of other living entities as well. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. If we have finished the 25th verse, we can go back to the 21st verse, Mataji, and we will see into each of the shlokas in detail. Yes. So, today we will be actually trying to understand the verses from 21 down to 25th of the third canto, 29th chapter. It is Kapil Dev's instructions on devotional service. And we know devotional service is the ultimate process, or rather the most sublime process, the most pleasing process which attracts Krishna. bhakti, ananya bhakti attracts Krishna. And we know all the characteristics of pure devotional service. It is auspicious, it removes all the miseries, it is not easy, it is rare, and most importantly, it attracts Krishna, and it is completely fulfilling and satisfying to the heart. And speaking of that devotional service, you have various stages in the devotional service also. Even after attaining bhava and then prema also, you have various stages in which the soul grows and develops. So we will start seeing from the 21st verse. Mataji, can you show the purport? Yeah. The translation says, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. I am present in every living entity as the super soul. If someone neglects or disregards that super soul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of the deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. All these verses today, all 5 of them, are actually meant for practical implementation in our devotional service, because they speak about treating other living entities and devotees, and how one has to have the right attitude. While doing service to the deities also, if we don't have the right attitude, that's what is mentioned here. It is simply imitation. If we neglect or disregard the super soul. And first line, Mataji, I am present in every living entity as the super soul. Bhagavad Gita, which verses Krishna says this?
Sarvasya
Sarvasya
hृदि
hृदि
सन्निविष्टमत्तत् स्मृति ज्ञानमपोहनं च.
Yes. And one more shloka. Hrida deshe Arjuna tishtati. I am in the heart region.
Yeah. Vishwaram sarvabhutanam hriddeshe
Tishtati.
Ramayan mantra yantra rudani maya.
Correct. So we have the proof. Krishna himself has mentioned that he is the super soul in Bhagavad Gita. And now here also we have seen, I am present in every living entity as the super soul. And the second line is what is very important. If someone is neglecting or disregarding that super soul everywhere, but what is he doing? He is engaging in the worship of the deity in the temple. So Mataji, this happens initially when one starts doing their process of following the process of bhakti. They start taking up deity worship after a certain stage, after initiation or any stage. If the Guru Maharajas permit them, they start taking deity worship. And after taking up deity worship, they feel that now they are serving the Lord. It's not with everybody. Generally, we are serving the Lord. We are following all the rules and regulations. We are doing artis. We are doing bhoga. We are doing all whatever, changing of dresses, abhishekam. And they feel that now we are connected to the Lord. So now we are doing some important work, important seva towards the Lord. But while you are doing that, if we are not changing our thinking, our vision, our consciousness towards others, towards everything that is around us, all this deity worship is simply an imitation. That is what Prabhupada writes in the purport. He is considered. See, therefore, if only one engages in deity worship in the temple and does not consider other living entities, then he is the lowest grade of devotional service. You have the 3 types of devotees. Can anybody tell what are the 3 stages in devotional service, progressing in devotional service? The devotees are classified into, yes.
Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari,
Uttama.
Kanishtadhikari is
Kanishtadhikari.
the Madhyama, and then Uttamadhikari. So, deity worship is a very important anga or a limb of devotional service. But deity worship, the purpose behind deity worship is there are so many reasons why deity worship is recommended. Yes, Mataji, one of the reasons, can anybody, of course, there are many reasons. You can start listing. We can just see how many reasons of deity worship we can think of. Yes, Mataji. Can anybody tell what is the purpose of deity worship?
We can do direct service to the Lord. Mataji.
It is mainly to purify.
Purification, direct service, then.
Hare Krishna. Mataji,
Understanding our constitutional
Supreme Lord.
What, Mataji?
Establish a relationship between the
Correct.
Supreme Lord.
we establish a relationship. Yeah, one more Mataji was saying something.
Understanding the constitutional position and remembering that we are servitors.
Yes, we are the servitors of Krishna. That's what we remember when we are doing deity worship. Then what else?
It creates loving relation, Mataji.
Yes. Most importantly, we establish our forgotten relationship connection with Krishna. But that connection with Krishna is not restricted to only serving Krishna and only seeing Krishna in that deity form in the temple or in our house altar. It is to extend our consciousness and our vision to seeing Krishna everywhere. We will see in the coming shlokas where Prabhupada has very neatly explained in his purport that deity worship is very important. Even Mahaprabhu recommended, even Prabhupada also recommended deity worship, because that is how we start establishing our relationship with Krishna. We start meditating on Krishna while serving Krishna. We start deriving that pleasure. We get connected to him. But that is not the end of it. It has to go further where we can see Krishna everywhere. That is the line mentioned here. A devotee should try to understand everything in relationship with Krishna and try to serve everything in that spirit. And one aspect is that we engage everything in the service of Krishna. We see Krishna in everything. And if any innocent person does not understand this, or he doesn't have a relationship with Krishna, advanced devotees should help him. So advanced devotees in Krishna conscious, they can engage not only the living beings, but they can engage everything in the service of Krishna. So Prabhupada makes it very clear that Krishna consciousness means not only doing chanting, not only, serving the deities in temple, they are all limbs. But most importantly, it is to elevate our consciousness to see Krishna everywhere, use everything in the service of Krishna. Now, what happens when we are not able to do like that? Mataji, can you go to the, Mataji, 1 second, can you just take to the shloka? Yes, this particular word, archa vidambanam, imitation. What is the meaning of this archa vidambanam? Imitation deity worship. What is this imitation deity worship?
Doing for the sake of doing, Mataji.
Just showing off to people, Mataji.
Mataji, even if you do very nicely for Krishna, but you are not seeing all other living entities or everything in relation to Krishna, that is also archa vidambanam. That is only imitation. Even if you're doing perfect job in archa vigraha, you're serving deities very nicely, but your thinking, your conscious, your vision has not changed towards the creation or other living entities. It is imitation only. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary to Bhagavatam, has written, and Bhanuswami Maharaj has translated this particular shloka and has says that if without paying respects to all the living entities, deity worship will not give any result. What is the result we are speaking of, Mataji? We say that even if we take the name of Krishna accidentally, if we do small service to Krishna also, Krishna accepts it, you get the spiritual merit and there is no loss, no diminution in Krishna consciousness, then what is the result they are speaking? That without paying respects to all living entities, deity worship will not give any result. What is the result they are speaking of?
Liberation, Mataji.
Love of Godhead, Mataji.
Yes, liberation also possible, Mataji. When you go to the stage of offenseless chanting itself, namabhas itself, you'll get liberation. But prema you will not develop. So ultimate result of bhakti, ananya bhakti, is to get prema of the Lord. That you will never get. You may do your deity worship very perfectly. But unless and until your conscious can be at that platform where it is seeing everything in Krishna and everything in relation to Krishna, we will not get the result. And this will happen. See, this kind of offenses, which we unknowingly sometimes do, will act as restriction for our own progress in bhakti. And Bhanu Maharaj has written in the purport that disregard, disrespect, hatred, and criticism, not only of devotees, of any living entity, will not help, or rather will be an obstruction in purification of our consciousness. Even disregard. Disrespect is something else. Disregard. What is the meaning of disregard?
Ignoring, Mataji.
Ignoring, careless, you just don't see them as anything, that kind of, oh, they are not very important. It's the Lord's creation. Everything in the Lord's creation has a purpose. The Lord has created it. It is important. Lord doesn't create anything which is not required. So in the Lord's creation, there is nothing to be disregarded. Everything is of importance. Everything is of value. And disrespect, of course, not allowed. Krishna also has spoken in Bhagavad Gita, one has to be respectful towards everybody. Even Mahaprabhu has said that a pure devotee will never expect any respect for himself, but show respect to all the living entities. Hatred. Hatred, we know, it is the root cause of so many problems. Lust, hatred, greed, which are now the prevalent features or qualities in Kali Yuga. They will only degrade us. And in spite of having hatred, if we go on doing deity worship, there will be no change in us. There will be no progress in our bhakti. We will get some punya, that's all. Criticism. Criticism is something which is a very, very important aspect which we all end up doing, sometimes unknowingly also. Positive, negative, criticism, some way or the other, obstructs the jiva to progress and purify his consciousness. So one has to be very careful if one is serving the deity. Apart from the rules of the deity worship, we have 64 rules and regulations in deity worship which are mentioned in Nectar of Devotion. There are so many aspects we have to take care. Yes, Mataji, go to the next shloka and then we will see how is it possible to actually see Lord everywhere. Yes, Yomam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Santam Atmanam Ishwaram Hitvarcham Bhajate Maudhyat Bhasmani Eva Juhoti Saha. Yes, Mataji. Come to the translation. One who worships the deity of Godhead in the temples but does not know that the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is situated in every living entity's heart must be in ignorance and is compared to one who offers oblations into ashes. So if we go to temple, we do a nice deity worship, we do serve our deities in the house, but we do not know that the Lord is present in the Paramatma. Mataji, for us who have been in Krishna conscious for a while, we know for sure that the Lord is there as Paramatma in the heart. We know it, all of us know it, but are we able to realize it in all the living entities' hearts, Mataji, at all times?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
So that shows our conscious level. And if we cannot see the Lord in every Jivatma's heart, that is in ignorance. That means we are still in ignorance. And whatever services we are doing or whatever austerities or whatever we are doing is like offering oblations into ashes. Oblations are offered into water, fire, and then it is like, to satisfy the Supreme Lord. But oblations into ashes, they will not have any result. The Lord is the creator of this material world. And we know there are 84 lakh species. That means 84 lakh different bodies the Lord gives to the jiva in this material world. And along with all these 84 lakh species, the living entities, the Anu Atmas, the Vibhu Atma, the super soul also is there in each and every body, including that bacteria or the ant body. The Lord is present in those also. So it is not possible that there is a Jivatma in this material world where the Lord is not present. And even otherwise, in each and every atom of this creation, the Lord is present. He's called Vishnu, Vishwa Anu. In each and every atom, he is present. And also, in everything, he's all pervading. He's present everywhere and he's present in the heart also. So the Lord is present in both the ways. Individually, he's present with the Jiva, and all-pervading Lord in his feature as Paramatma is present in the entire universe, entire creation. So if one is saying that we believe in God, we pray to the God, we go to church or temple or mosque, Prabhupada writes, they are so used to and attached to rituals. They are so much used to being very, punctual and alert to, we have churches right next to my house. Sunday, every morning from 5 o'clock, the prayers start, and so much, a huge crowd is there by 5 o'clock. But, it's good if you are doing all the rituals and all the rules and regulations you're following. But if you are not able to realize and see the presence of Lord everywhere and in everything, then it is like offering butter to ashes, not in fire. So there'll be no benefit as such. You can take janma after janma, but your consciousness wouldn't have changed. So Prabhupada explains how we chant Vedic mantras when we do sacrifices, and how butter is offered, and how then, all the Supreme Lord is appeased, and all the devatas partake in the share of the offerings of the sacrifice. But most important, Prabhupada has also written here, in other words, a devotee should not ignore any living entity. This is the most important line. We are doing our bhakti, we are silently sitting and chanting. There is nothing wrong. Mataji, we also have heard that when you do devotional service, Krishna also speaks about the quality of maunam, being silent, not speaking more than required, and only engaging in your devotional service activities. All this is fine. Then what is this word? Not ignoring any living entity. Not ignoring means?
We must give due respect to each and every living entity, Mataji.
It's more about the attitude. It's more about our thinking process. See, it's not that we will be going and acknowledging each and every living entity, because that is not what is told here. It is the attitude you develop within yourself, and that slowly that attitude and thought process will translate into the consciousness with which you are doing any activity. So if we don't ignore anything, we don't, are neglectful of anything around us, but see everything as part of Krishna, then we develop the right consciousness. So all the living entities have to be treated kindly, and there should be no violence. That's what Prabhupada has written. Slaughterhouses, Prabhupada always mentions about it, because usually what people say is animals are much lower species, so we don't, they can be killed. But Prabhupada always says they are also living entities, and they are also part of the Lord's creation. So one cannot harm the animals and say that we should not kill humans, but we can kill the animals. And that is the advancement of human civilization presently, which has got this kind of thinking or principles which are actually contradicting to the Shastra or misinterpretation of the Shastra. And anybody who is doing that is supposed to be in mode of ignorance. So for this, there is how to treat in fact, Bhagavatam also, 11th canto, 2nd verse, I'll just read out, 47th shloka. He's speaking about being disrespectful to the devotees. 11th canto, Mataji, you can just open 11 to 47. Yes. Archayam eva hareye pujam yah shraddhaye hate natad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhaktah prakritah smritah. A devotee who faithfully engages in the worship of the deity in the temple but does not behave properly toward other devotees or people in general is called a prakrita bhakta, a materialistic devotee, as is considered to be in the lowest position. So Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari is the one who is very nicely faithfully doing deity worship, but he's not properly behaving towards other devotees. And also people in general. See, it is not always, devotional service doesn't mean restricting ourselves only to devotees or people who are only there in this organization. Because devotee has a very vast definition. If you go to Nectar of Devotion of Rupa Goswami, even a person who has once told the name of Vishnu or paid once even the obeisances in the temple of Krishna or Vishnu is a devotee. So you cannot say general people are not devotees. There are different categories of devotees. So a person who does not behave properly towards other people also, they're called prakrita bhaktas, materialistic devotee. And that is the lowest position. So Prabhupada explains in this purport of this chapter that why do they have this tendency? Because Kanishta Adhikaris, they have just begun their devotional service practice. They are developing the faith. It is not also complete faith. And they feel that moment they have taken up this process, they're chanting, they're doing deity worship, that they are in some way doing something very important or something which the other people are not doing. And the tendency is that, oh, these people are wasting time, they are not doing anything which is required. And in that enthusiasm, sometimes they don't behave properly with others. When people are new preachers and they're very enthusiastic preachers, sometimes the way they present the philosophy, way they speak to the others actually ends up in hurting the others, or rather they're developing a negative feeling towards the entire process. If you go to a very newcomer who doesn't know anything about this Bhagavad Gita or anything about spiritual process, and then you just go outrightly tell them, you people are wasting your human life, you people are not doing any useful things, why are you running behind money and enjoyment, why can't you serve Krishna? Will they be able to accept all this, Mataji? Will anybody suddenly
No,
go out of
Mataji.
the blue and go
No,
tell them all
Mataji.
this? Will they be able to accept all this?
No, Mataji.
It's a gradual process, Mataji.
Yes. So it is very important that one behaves properly with all the jivas, with everybody, because that is how Prabhupada gives this thing in all his books, and also in Vaishnava etiquette, it's mentioned that one has to behave in the most appropriate manner before he speaks the philosophy, because more than the words, the behavior, the attitude, that attracts the others. So by our behavior, we should be able to actually convince them to take up this process, or rather, inspire them to come to this process of devotional service. So this aspect of behaving with others is very important for us in this movement, not only for our spiritual progress, but also not to offend others or chase away others from this entire process, actually. If we scare them, we have to chant 16 rounds. You cannot speak all this to beginners. You have to give up whatever non-veg you're eating, onion, garlic, you follow regulative principles, nobody will turn. So behavior towards people is very, very important. And that is practical aspect of our spiritual practices. We can do deity worship, we can chant, we can read Shrimad Bhagavatam, we can read our books, we can preach to others, but most important is focus on our behavior. And that behavior will automatically come when our thought process is right, when the attitude we develop is right, when our conscience is right. Otherwise, it will be also like one imitated behavior or pretended behavior, and that will soon come out. Whatever you pretend, you cannot hold it for long. So the change has to come internally for us. So in the next shlokas, we will see how this happens. Yes, Mataji, you can go back to 3.29.23. Yeah, translation.
Yeah, Mataji, it's on the screen.
Translation you give. Yeah. One who offers me respect, but is envious of the bodies of others and is therefore a separatist, never attains peace of mind because of his inimical behavior towards other living entities. So this Kapil Dev's instructions are very, very important. Only chanting, reading scriptures, doing our temple services, eating prasadam, bhoga, very good, important. They are important for us to purify. But apart from that, this also matters. If we have even slightest of malice, slightest of any negative feeling towards any jiva, we cannot go to Goloka Vrindavan. And it is mentioned here that they respect the Lord. They are very, very, obedient to the Lord, but they're envious of others. That's why It's called the word, Mataji, can you go to the word Bhinna Darshana in the shloka? Bhinna Darshana. Bhinna Darshinaha, of a separatist. Separatist mentality. What is the meaning of separatist mentality?
Considering yourself different, Mataji, or
yes.
Like differentiating, Mataji.
Yes.
We thinking we are devotees.
Yes. Considering we are devotees, they are non-devotees, they are karmis. That is one level. The other one, the other kind of separatism, we are humans, they are animals, these are birds. And in the humans also, they are low caste, we are high class, we are educated, they are uneducated. This is separatist mentality. And above all that, separatist mentality, seeing the body of others as different, ourselves as different. But ultimately, the fact is that we are all souls. All the living entities in this material world are the souls, part and parcel of Krishna. So where is the difference between all of us? Where is that separatist thinking coming from? Are we all not one, Matajis?
Yes, Mataji.
We are all one. Because we are all part and parcel of Krishna, the same living entities, the spirit, the Anu Atmas who have come from Krishna, who is the Vibhu Atma. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So there is no difference between any of the Jivatmas. But the separatist mentality is because of illusion, because of the Trigunas acting on us, because of our relationship with our body. In the bodily concept, we can see all these differences. And that's why Bhagavad Gita speaks about Pandita Samadarshinaha, equal vision. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena Sevaye upadekshanti te jnanam gnaninas tattva darshinaha is about a guru whom you approach who can guide you. And what is that verse? Pandita Samadarshinaha?
Vinaya
Sampanne. Yes. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne.
Brahmane Gavibhastini Chaiva Swapake Cha Pandita Samadarshini.
So what is the meaning of Samadarshinaha?
With equal vision, Mataji.
What is the equal vision?
Thinking that we are all
all
same.
are parts and parcels of
All
Krishna.
are part of
Yes.
Children of God.
Yes. If we see Lord in everything, and also remember that we are part and parcel, all of us are part and parcel of Krishna, and Lord is there in everybody, then automatically we cannot see difference in anything. We will see Lord everywhere. We will see everything in the Lord. And that is at one level of thinking. And the second level is that in this material world, we all are suffering and undergoing threefold miseries. So if we can see that our suffering is not different from the suffering of others, then we will not have this separatist mentality. We all are suffering in this material world. All our sufferings are same. In the sense, the types of sufferings can vary, but the suffering is same for everybody in this material world. So if we can relate, if somebody is undergoing something and if we can feel that, oh, see, it's the same kind of suffering I'm undergoing, or whatever suffering I'm undergoing, the other jiva is also undergoing that kind of suffering, then we will not develop inimical attitude or hatred towards any jiva. We are in this material world, all the living entities actually being subjected to threefold miseries, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika miseries, and actually under the control of Trigunas. We all together are actually fighting Maya Devi. So we all are towards one side. There is no difference between us and anybody else. If we can think in that way, we will not be inimical towards anybody, and manaha shantim richati. Mind will be peaceful. Manaha shantim richati. When we give up the inimical attitude, when we give up the separatist mentality, only then we can get peace of mind. Mataji, sometimes we hear Matajis or anybody practicing bhakti, they say, we are doing so much of chanting, we are going to temple, but somehow we are not having peace of mind. Why? When you're doing so nicely bhakti, why are you not having peace of mind?
Because of the envy, Mataji.
Yes. Because We are doing all these aspects of bhakti, but within us, internally, there is no change. No change in our conscious level or our attitude. If we don't change our attitude towards the living entities, we will never experience peace. I've heard so many times devotees coming and saying, when we are in the temple, we feel so peaceful. Moment we are out, we are again in this material world, again we are disturbed. Why that happens? Because our attitude is not changed. Our thinking has not changed. Our behavior towards other jivas have not changed. For behavior to change, first our thinking has to change. And if that changes, you will experience peace of mind. Mataji, can you just go through the translation? 1 second, we will go. Yes. Prabhupada also expressed these two phrases, bhuteshu baddha vairasya, inimical towards others, dvishataha parakaye, envious of another's body. So also one has to remember that in Nectar of Devotion also Prabhupada mentions in the purports that you should not see the bodily features of anybody and then decide who is a devotee, who is not a devotee. People usually feel that, people who are not having perfect bodily features or proper bodily features or complexions, they cannot be considered as devotees or anybody else. It's like, that is not the vision. Any person with any kind of body is a soul. Actually, they are only souls. The body is just the outer covering. So one cannot judge anybody based on their bodies. So Prabhupada writes, this body is a covering to be in this material world, and everybody in this material world is engaged within the material bodies, and the Lord wants to deliver everybody. So the devotees are taking the message of the Lord, fulfilling his mission, uplifting the fallen souls and bringing them to Krishna conscious. So such souls have to be respected. Why Prabhupada is to stress this is, when he got foreign disciples, Americans and Africans, the so-called high-class Brahmanas of India were criticizing that all these so-called fallen people, you are making them pujaris in the temple. Those people who have lived very sinful lives, they are now being called to do all the services in the temple. So for this, Prabhupada is to say that one has to rise above the bodily concept. Whoever is doing devotional service practices properly, they're following it properly, following the instructions of the spiritual master, living a regulated life, they have to be considered devotees, irrespective of the place they have come from, their birth or their origin or their body. So here in the lower species, we cannot give them Krishna conscious, we can just give them prasadam. But in the human form, human society, Krishna conscious can be spread everywhere. That is the duty of devotees, to spread Krishna conscious. And Prabhupada gives the example of Shivananda Sena, who used to feed a dog, and later when Mahaprabhu fed the dog, it got liberation. So that is possible. Even other bodies, even we see Gajendra got the moksha. It is possible, but in the human form, it is very easily possible to transform the consciousness. And nobody, no jiva can commit offense or violence on any other jiva. And about vegetables also, when we argue that, animals should not be killed, then they put a counter argument. They kind of counter argue with us that then how come you're eating vegetables? They also have life. But in vegetables, they regrow back. If there's a seed with which they will regrow, and even if there is a fruit, fruit trees or vegetable trees, when you pluck, the entire tree or plant doesn't die. So Prabhupada says, any jiva who has got a particular type of body, it's because of some karma, and he has to finish the time in that particular body, then only it can evolve into the higher forms. So, and we should not forcibly stop its evolution cycle. If you are killing some living entity, you're stopping its evolution cycle, and maybe again one more janma it has to take to be in the same body to finish that time period. So that's why we shouldn't interfere with the cycle of evolution of the jivas. From whichever body they have got, they can evolve to the other higher level, and human form is the topmost form. So that inimical attitude, the separatist mentality, the envy mentality, if we have it, in spite of doing all other devotional service practices, we will not experience peace of mind. So devotional service is not a separate activity. That also we have to remember, that this is one activity in our life, one part of our living. No, devotional service extends to each and every aspect of our life, our thinking, our body, our consciousness, everything. Yes. 24th verse, Mataji. Can you go to the next verse? Yes. Come down to the translation. My dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by the worship of my deities in the temple. Clearly, the Lord has told us. You can do so much of deity worship, and you feel very happy that I am serving the deities. I am making nice bhoga for the Lord. I am dressing up him so beautifully. I am making nice garlands. I am making, nice, I am chanting very well. I am reading the scriptures. And you yourself will see the Lord after you dress him up and you become pleased on your own. But you will never know that the Lord is not going to be pleased if you are not able to see the Lord present in all the living entities. And the shloka here, Mataji, can you just go to that particular word, avamanina? Yes, grama avamanina. Bhuta grama avamanina. That is the key word. Bhuta grama to other living entities. Avamanina with those who are disrespectful. Come to the translation. Prabhupada has given us some points. Here says there are 64 different rules and regulations for deity worship, and we have the Shodasha Upacharas also, how the deity has to be served, when you wake up the deity, what are the rules, and then what are the Archana Vidhi, and then the Arti Vidhi, Pancharatra Vidhis. So many things are there, and you may follow all of them properly. And of course, the most important is Bhava. With love, you can serve Krishna. But when you're serving with love, when you're serving Krishna with love, then how can you have hatred towards other living entities who are also creation of Krishna? And Prabhupada writes a nice line. We cannot bribe the personality of Godhead. He's so great that our bribery has no value. If we say that Krishna, I'm offering you chappan bhog, and then you are fighting with your mates, you are ill-treating your mates, or ill-treating other members of your family or anybody else, you are having kind of anger or hatred towards other jivas, you cannot bribe the Lord. That is the very lowest form of devotional service. And the purpose of doing bhakti is not to remain in the lowest level, but to progress to the Uttamadhikari stage. Because Krishna is not having any scarcity. Prabhupada raised, Krishna, he has no scarcity. He is full. He is independent. He is Atma Rama. He is full in himself. He is having all 6 opulences in full. So what can we offer him? Whatever he is giving, we are just trying to give it back to him in the show of our love and gratitude. Otherwise, we are actually practically not giving anything to Krishna. We cannot give anything to Krishna except our bhava. And that bhava is that not only love for Krishna, but love for everything, everybody in this creation. So the gratitude and love for God is actually exhibited by pure devotees, because they are seeing the Lord in every living entity. And Prabhupada then gives the practical ways of how we can help the fallen souls, ignorant people who have no knowledge of this process. They can just be given prasadam, that is compassion, that will somehow actually give them some sukriti and uplift them. And he writes, that is better than simply cooking foodstuffs and eating without understanding one relationship with the Lord. So without offering, if you eat, we have said, no, we are actually bhunkte senas, thieves. If we don't offer to the Lord or the demigods, we are thieves. But doing all these processes is fine, but changing our entire thought process is very important. Compassion to the jivas, we have to develop that compassion. Lord has causeless mercy on everybody. So that kind, we can never come to the level of Lord, but develop a part of that compassion for the ignorant living entities. So love for Krishna is very important. If we all say it's good, we love Krishna. But that love for Krishna includes love for all the jivatmas. We cannot separate. Krishna, I am loving you, I am serving you properly, that is enough. No. Krishna does not accept or appreciate this. So this is like bribing Krishna, that I am doing well, I am treating you well, that's enough. No, that is not the mentality. That is not the Krishna consciousness, the state of Krishna consciousness or pure consciousness. For this, there is a shloka in Bhagavatam. Mataji, can you open 11:23:3? How hurting others is not acceptable. 11:23:3. Yes. Na tatha tapyate vidha puman bhanaistu marmahai yatha tudanti marmastha hi asatam parusheshavaha. Translation, Mataji. Sharp arrows which pierce one's chest and reach the heart do not cause as much suffering as the arrows of harsh, insulting words that become lodged within the heart when spoken by uncivilized men. So we know the power of words. They are much more powerful, hurtful than the arrows actually. Arrows will pierce your chest and you will get a wound in your external physical body. But harsh words, they will be insulting words, they'll be lodged within the heart. And they are actually spoken by uncivilized men. A gentleman, Prabhupada says devotees have to be gentlemen. So a gentleman cannot speak such words. And speaking harsh words to everybody or anybody, and then you say, I am having loving affection and devotion towards Krishna. How is it possible? First of all, speaking harsh words itself is the quality of uncivilized men. Forget about being devotees. So one has to be very, very careful with the choice of words which we utter to anybody, because we may think it is a very normal thing we have spoken sometimes, but we don't know the extent of hurt that particular soul has felt. And if that soul is having some kind of negative feelings or hurt or hatred towards us, that will actually impair our progress in spiritual life. So devotee is the one who loves everybody and he is also dear to everybody. Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita, he becomes dear to everybody. Nobody has any ill feelings towards a devotee. And then only it is possible that we reach the spiritual abode of Krishna. Coming to the last verse. Yes, Mataji, you can go to the 3:29-25. Archadav archayet tavad Ishwaram mam sva karmakrit yavan na veda svahridi sarva bhutesh avasthitam. Yes, Mataji, come to the translation. Performing his prescribed duties, one should worship the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until one realizes my presence in his own heart and in the hearts of other living entities as well. So that is why this deity worship is recommended. We are in the Grahastha ashram. We are neophyte devotees in the devotional service practice. And deity worship is one of the important anga. Apart from our prescribed duties, till we come to the stage of giving up all our material desires, we have to include deity worship in our activities. But till when you have to do the deity worship and why we have to do the deity worship, it is until one realizes my presence in his own heart and in the hearts of other living entities. So we know the first of the prescribed duties, each and every varna and ashrama have got certain set of prescribed duties. One has to do. One cannot give up his duties. Krishna has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, one cannot give up its prescribed duties and say that I am doing devotional service. That is allowed only for a person who has reached the stage of bhava bhakti, not for beginners who are still in anartha nivritti stage. They cannot give up prescribed duties. But apart from that, all the prescribed duties, deity worship has to be done. But deity worship, the purpose of doing deity worship is to establish our relationship with Krishna, develop a loving bhava towards Krishna, and also, the most important, realize the relationship of all other living entities with the Supreme Lord, see the Supreme Lord in every living entity, and see the Lord everywhere. And if one is doing all this, and if he is discharging his prescribed duties properly, and even also he is doing the various limbs of bhakti, if he is not able to come to that platform of realization of seeing the Lord everywhere, he is simply laboring without profit. Shrama eva hi kevalam. Bhagavatam says that, no? Shrava eva hi kevalam. Swakarma krit. Prabhupada says one who engages in discharging his prescribed duties. One has to do. And till one comes to the stage of bhava, he has to do his prescribed duties. At bhava, he need not do any other karma, any other material activities. And bhava, what is the stage of bhava, Mataji? In bhava, do you have any desires?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji, desire.
What is the only desire?
Get
To
love of
serve the
God.
Lord.
Krishna
Serve the
prema.
Lord.
To serve the Lord.
No, Krishna. Actually, soul can never be desireless. It will have some or the other desire. But actual desirelessness means only serving Krishna. That is desirelessness. That means you're not having any material desires. Desirelessness is the state where you want to fulfill only what Krishna wants. Only in that stage, you can give up your prescribed duties. Others all have to engage in prescribed duties. And one more line Prabhupada mentions, no one should be lazy under the plea of devotional service. See, I have to chant 16 rounds. I have to make bhoga for the Lord. I have to do deity dressing. I have to make garlands. I have to, do so many other activities, read Bhagavatam. So I may just neglect some of my house duties or prescribed duties. That is not allowed. You have to do your bhakti along with your prescribed duties till you come to the stage of bhava. After coming to the stage of bhava, which is pure devotees, they are not at all having any debt or any, obligation towards anybody. Once they are only serving Krishna and their desire is only to serve Krishna, they can give up all other activities. And most importantly, after we have gone through all these verses, what is the most important aspect we have learned, Matajis?
Seeing everyone equal, Mataji. Seeing God in everyone.
Seeing
Lord in everyone.
Seeing Paramatma in everyone.
Yes. Yes. So after we have discussed this, Mataji, we also know this fact that there is Paramatma. How do we actually implement that kind of a thought process or inculcate that thought process in our day-to-day lives, Mataji?
To be in the mode of goodness.
Being in mode of goodness. Then automatically it will come to us, Mataji, or we have to keep reminding ourselves?
No, Mataji, we have to keep reminding.
We have to keep
We
reminding.
have to keep reminding ourselves.
So all what is
Sadhu
spoken?
Sangha.
Yes, Mataji. Sadhu Sangha. Yes.
That's why we should be Sadhu Sangha.
Yes. So
In
Mataji,
Nectar of Devotion.
yeah, you're saying something?
Sorry, Mataji.
No, say
In
it.
Nectar of Devotion, they say, Mataji, for the superior devotees, we should pay obeisances, and for someone who is equal to us, we should treat them like a friend, and one who is the one we should show compassion.
Correct.
And also we should say that we should never disregard them also, knowing that the Paramatma is there in their heart also.
Correct.
So internally we should pray for them also.
Yes.
In one class, Mataji told me to, whenever you see the clock, you just remember Lavamatra Sadhu Sangam.
Yes.
If you remember that, you will know that if you are away from the Sadhu Sangha, you will go back to get the association.
Yes. You'll fall down into material association.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes. So Mataji, every minute, every second, we have to keep reminding this. And especially when we are interacting with others, the first thought when we are dealing with them, subconsciously we have to develop this, that there is Lord present in them. Whatever they are doing, whatever is happening is only the will of the Lord. And we have to keep being in that conscious to come to that realization. So we have to keep kind of consciously reinforcing the thought within ourselves. And we have to some extent, keep acting in that consciousness till it becomes our natural consciousness. Initially, we may not always be reminded whenever we see others, whenever we see anything, it will not come automatically to us. But that is how we have to practice that. Every day we have to remind that the Lord is present everywhere. Lord is present in all the jivas. Lord is there everywhere. This line we have to go on repeating till it is registered in our consciousness. And all the other processes of bhakti, whatever we are doing, the bottom line is that we have to see the Lord everywhere. See the Lord in everything. Then only we become perfectly Krishna conscious. Seeing Krishna everywhere in everything is Krishna consciousness. So that is why when we leave the body, 8th chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga says, in whatever state you leave your body, you will attain that state. So when you are trained your consciousness and mind, everything to see Krishna everywhere, to remember Krishna everywhere, at the time of leaving the body, it becomes so easy because within your consciousness, you are having Krishna everywhere. So it's a practice of lifetime. And initially to be started consciously and then gradually getting internalize it so much that it will become your nature. Yes. Mataji's, anybody has any doubts?
Mataji, this enviousness and pride is so difficult to control, Mataji.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, whenever in office or whatever it is, like, when someone else gets an appreciation, when you think that you are deserving,
Yes.
at that particular point of time, all the practical aspect, all the theoretical knowledge goes for a toss.
That's it.
So, yeah, maybe as you said, maybe we need to internalize, fake it till you make it, maybe.
That's it. It's a gradual process, Mataji. We know that our conscious has been like this for many, many janmas. This is not one-time consciousness, or this is not the present consciousness. It is being carried forward from so many janmas. To suddenly transform it is not an easy process.
Right.
So theory always will be challenged by the circumstances we face in our life. But that is called practical implementation of the knowledge. No? At that time, we have to remind ourselves of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Kapila Dev, teachings of Mahaprabhu, Amanina, Manadena, Kirtaniya, Sarahari. You have to be as humble as a blade of grass.
Yeah, so true.
All that reminders. So that's why every day we have to read them. We read Shikshastakam. Taror, what is that shloka of Shikshastakam, Mataji? Kirtaniya Sada. Don't expect any respect. If anything is happening, you don't expect. So slowly we have to detach from all this knowledge. And for detachment, you need practice. So devotional service, Prabhupada always used to say, devotional service practices. So practice means you are trying to unlearn certain things, you're trying to learn certain things. So this learning means reinforcing the teachings, reinforcing the thoughts. And when we go on reinforcing, then only it will change. And criticism is also one aspect where we sometimes unknowingly, as a general thing, we speak about others. So you have to be conscious that we shouldn't speak unnecessarily.
Right, Mataji. Sometimes I feel animals are better because they don't have even voice to speak.
See, they're having much more merit, though they're in their punishment bodies, but they don't commit sins. They don't commit.
So true, Mataji.
But humans have been given the intelligence to actually choose between what is right and wrong, Mataji. You have a choice, you can make a difference, but the animals cannot. So we are the most privileged, but we have to know how to use it. That's all.
Right. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, anybody else? How to do practical way of changing our consciousness?
Mataji, is that a question, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Is that a question, Mataji? What
Yes,
you asked, Mataji?
yes. Mataji, Prabhu, we covered 3rd canto, 29th verse, 29th chapter, 21 to 25 verses. Some Subbarao Prabhu is asking. Yeah. Yes.
Mataji, Tarika Mataji has a question.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
Padma
Mataji is trying to say something. Yes.
Later do it, then I'll talk to you.
Okay. Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Recently, I had gone for a temple tour that was organized by the Vrindavan temple.
Okay.
And this was a South India temple tour. So all the major temples in South India we had visited, and all the devotees from Vrindavan and around had come, and I had joined them from Bangalore. So our experience was very mixed. So a lot of things that you mentioned today, Mataji, I was recalling all of those things. As we approach you, people who have gone to all the major temples, they know there is so much of crowd.
Yes.
So they are managing the crowd, and we understand that. But the moment we reach the altar and the priests are standing there inside, the moment they saw, because I was noticing their reaction to the local people
and
to the people who were looking different, either physically or were wearing, the tilak, which maybe they thought they are Hare Krishna, Hare Rama people, or they thought they are North Indians. I don't know their discrimination criteria. But the moment they saw we were all coming one after the other, they started pushing us. And the major Prabhuji who was taking the whole tour, they called him out and they started, fighting with him.
Okay.
And these were priests who were standing in the God's altar.
Yes.
And we were so shocked. And
Yes.
these are the biggest temples.
Yes. Yes.
So exactly what you said, Mataji,
Yes.
that just deity worship. And
Yes.
even if you are doing to the supremest temple in the biggest biggest deity, still if you do not have compassion towards, and we had come from such far off places to take darshan, that 1 second also they did not let us look at the Lord, because they started pushing us. And so that was a very unfortunate experience we had, Mataji.
Yes. So Mataji, that is what Prabhupada writes, no? If you are doing this kind of having this kind of a behavior, that is absolute ignorance. And also in the shlokas we have seen, the Lord will also not be pleased by this kind of a behavior. And this is only happening because of their restricted knowledge. And they are having this separatist mentality, because they feel that, oh, these people are not devotees. We are the ones who are serving in the altar. We are only the devotees. See, our philosophy, that's why we have to appreciate the philosophy of Mahaprabhu, the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, the way they have explained to us, to develop the right attitude so that we can develop the right purified consciousness. See, if you are having hatred towards people of a particular sect or a group or whatever you are, then how can you will be accepted by the Lord, who loves everything in his creation? Lord is not partial to anybody. He loves all his creation. Even, a stool worm is very dear to the Lord because it is part of his creation. So these people have a separatist mentality, and that is why they are considered Kanishta Adhikaris, not more than that. And our job, our purpose is to become Uttama Adhikaris, pure devotees. So we have been taught the philosophy in the much deeper way, in the much better way, so that we actually become purified. If we cannot purify our thoughts and our qualities, then how we will be purified enough to go to the spiritual world? So nowadays, that is why the so-called pujaris or priests, they are all blessed, definitely, because they're serving the deity in the temple. But if they have this mentality, then it will not be pleasing to the Lord, Mataji. It will definitely not please the Lord.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nice class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Padma Mataji, you wanted to ask something?
Krishna,
Yes.
Mataji, your explanation is so simple and to the point. You just tell, I'm not praising you, but it really hits the head, Mataji, honestly. Now, what I want to ask you,
yeah.
sometimes we make so much effort, in convincing people to come into Krishna consciousness, by explaining to them the thing, but they just don't want to. They are so stubborn. Why is it? Why is it, Mataji? It really hurts,
Yes.
Keep on reminding them, give them the japa also. They just don't want to. Because they feel that they are very superior. They look down.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
such mentality?
Mataji, it is the desire of the soul. Apart from the desire of the soul, Mataji, it is the sukriti of the soul. See, Mataji, you are getting hurt because you feel this is the right path and you want to bring them to it. But the soul also has some kind of independence. No, Krishna himself doesn't interfere in their independence. So we shouldn't, first of all, get hurt if they are not coming. And why they are so adamant? means they haven't, till now, the time for them to get the mercy of the Lord or devotees has not come, Mataji. It's like, sowing the seeds. You can sow the same seed in different patches of land. Which will be the one which will fructify faster or which will take time? It depends on the quality of the land. So it depends on the heart and soul, heart of that particular jiva to accept Krishna consciousness. So we have to understand that the heart is not still capable or not ready to accept Bhakti, Mataji.
Mataji, they act very busy. We are so busy. They have no time. They are busy for everything, but they don't have time for Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Mataji, children's classes, just weekly one class, 1.5 hours or 1 hour also, they don't want to send, but they'll make all time effort to take them so far for some karate classes or spell bees or singing or dancing. That they will do.
Yes.
So it's all the, Mataji, the mentality, the thinking level. It's in a very, very deeper sense. Whatever is there in their mind is not easy to change, Mataji. Whoever is taking bhakti, they definitely have got the mercy from the previous lives, Mataji. And it is not for us to feel bad, because Krishna already has told that you should not preach to people who are not accepting this.
Yes.
You leave it, because, and what you can do, you pray for them and you give them Ajnata Sukriti by giving them prasadam unknowingly, that's all.
No, sometimes they don't want to take prasad also.
That's also,
they don't want.
They refuse, because we also see Sunday programs in temple. Devotees are going around giving and mala and saying just one round you chant because you're sitting here. Some people outrightly refuse to hold the mala in the hand. So some take up, some don't take up prasadam. It's all the soul's desire, soul's capability, which only Krishna knows, Mataji. And Krishna, if he wants, karma, Mataji, bhakti and desire to serve Krishna is above karmas. To some extent, we can say that karma, but karma has very little scope in all this, Mataji. Mercy of devotees and mercy of Lord. Lord is merciful to everybody. It's more of the mercy of devotees. And mercy of devotees also, if the soul doesn't have any merit, it takes time to act. So there recently, in one of the lectures, I heard that one Maharaj, I forgot his name, he went to some remote place in Africa. And he had his assistant also, but there was this local driver who, this Maharaj, when he got down, he gave his bag to him. He asked him to hold his chanting beads, and then he took it back. And he was asking that particular driver to help him in doing whatever his little activities. And this assistant was a little bit frustrated and confused. Why is that Maharaj is giving to him to do services and not to me? Because I'm there to assist him. He says, no, you are always there with me. I've come to this remote place. This particular soul has to get some sukriti. So by holding my beads or my suitcase or, just making him say once Hare Krishna, he will get that sukriti. But that kind of sukriti will take some time, because it has to add up to some substantial amount for that soul to take up bhakti. It can take so many janmas for that. So it takes a long time, Mataji. By devotees' mercy, they get bhakti. See, and karmas doesn't play a very important role in taking up bhakti, Mataji, because if you see Mrigari or Paparaja, Ambarish Maharaj's brother, they got instant merit, punya, lavamatra sadhu sangha. By mercy of Narad Muni, they all became devotees, Mataji. Even the prostitute who came to distract Haridas Thakur, what merit did she have, Mataji? But by the mercy of Haridas Thakur, she became a great devotee. So, devotees'
so
mercy.
fortunate.
Yes. And Lord is not partial. He can shower his mercy on anybody, everybody. And if Lord showers mercy, anybody can become a devotee. But Lord also has a way of operating. He has causeless mercy, and there is no rules for the Lord. He can shower his mercy on anybody. But it is always, it's up to him, to whom he wants to shower. And devotees, that is where devotees' mercy is most important for taking up bhakti, Mataji. And for that, even if you get the bija of seed, you yourself should be able to continue with that seed, no matter.
Yeah. Yes, you should be able to. You should be willing to accept it.
Yes, accept it, nurturing it. It's like bhakti lata bija. It is called. The seed is given, but then you have to nurture it actually. So it's all a process which
is. Don't need to grow.
Yeah, it is. It's a very slow process, and what is happening to that particular soul who is refusing to accept, only Krishna knows. And that's why Krishna also doesn't force anybody. In spite of telling everything to Arjun, he said, Yathechesi tata kuru, you do whatever you like. I have told you everything. So that independence, Krishna will not interfere. If somebody doesn't want to take up, Krishna will not force. So it is for us also not to force anybody who doesn't want to take up. That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very well explained.
Yes. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. So wonderfully you explained, Mataji. To what Padma Mataji said is, we are not able to transform the people around us. It is mainly because of the impurification that we have. I'm not saying like that, Mataji. We don't have so much of power.
Yes.
So we just want to give them the association of
Knowledge.
pure devotees, no, Mataji.
Correct. Correct. Our sadhana, that's what the Mataji Prabhupada always is to say this line. If preaching is the essence, purity is the driving force. So if we have the purity within ourselves, then that purity will be passed on to others and they will take up. They will take up. So we have to improve our sadhana if we are not able to convince. This is also a very right point what Mataji has pointed out, that we have to improve our sadhana and purify ourselves so much that that purity will influence the others also.
Hare Krishna. Only thing what we can do is we have to become the pure devotees only, Mataji. We have to strive for that.
Yes.
Mataji, my question is that, Mataji, in many, we have to see the Lord in everybody, no, Mataji. Like in that case, while working in the kitchen, we see so many ants, they disturb us. So we have to, no other options will be there.
Terminate.
So that time, yes, Mataji, we know that the Paramatma is there. But what can we do, Mataji?
We have to sometimes kind of, you know what I do? I will chant and then just remove them. That's all. Mataji.
Same way, Mataji, Hare Krishna. I'll say and then I'll do that.
Because there is no other way. That will be a real trouble for us. You know, you have all these pests and rodents who are spoiling things. Then we have to take care of it, Mataji. So Prabhupada always is to say prevention first. So maintain highest level of cleanliness and, you know, all your whatever your groceries or ingredients, maintain them in the most clean places, neat way. Because otherwise they will be infested with all this whatever insects and everything. But then if you have to remove them, then you have to, because you cannot help it. Even
Mataji, sometimes when you bring flowers or something, you know, you find a worm in the flowers.
You can throw
or
it.
sometimes, sometimes you see some insects somewhere. So what I do, I quickly take a tissue, I wrap him in the tissue, I took the balcony.
That's it. You can leave it. You can leave it in the garden if you have.
Yeah, because we don't want to kill.
Yeah. But sometimes
Mataji, it's better to.
But we can't help it, Mataji. You can only chant. That's all.
Yeah.
It's better to remove than killing, no, Mataji. Just throwing
it is
away.
better. If you have an option, you remove.
Yeah, take a tissue and remove the fellow.
Yes. No, Mataji, even when in the agricultural, when you are raising crops, they have to kill all that, whatever the insects or worms which infect the crops. Otherwise, the crop will not grow, no, Mataji.
Yeah.
So they have to do it because for certain purpose, we have to remove the other things. And it is okay. It has having negative karma, Mataji. It will have, but it is lesser comparatively.
But it is those insects karma also, no, Mataji?
Yes.
Karma also to die like that. And the person who's doing it.
Mosquitoes also are killed. And that's it. That is the lifespan of a mosquito. It's there for a short time and it is killed and it is gone, Mataji. It will have a small negative karma, definitely. But then that you can purify. And that is why they say do your pancharti, where you will be actually clearing up all these sins which you are doing unknowingly. You know, we know why we do pancharti, where there are insects and worms in the water, in the wheat, or in even when we wash our hands, we are removing some kind of bacteria which has life. So for all that, they say you do your pancharti every day.
Hare Krishna. Divya Gopu Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, this is slightly off topic, but I thought I should be asking you.
Yes.
Mataji, with respect to during Krishnashtami or many festivals, we will decorate the Lord with so many flowers, so many. And later, what do you all do, Mataji, with those flowers? You throw them up? What do you do?
If you have a garden, just put it in the garden. Otherwise, if you are in a place where you cannot dispose them off like that, what I've heard is that you can sprinkle Ganga water or Haldi water and then throw it in the dustbin.
Okay. I had this doubt, Mataji.
Yeah, if you have a garden, put it in the garden to all the plants and trees.
Mataji, I also want to ask you.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you. We have so many calendars over the years.
Yes.
What do we do with them?
Krishna. I also have that. What I am doing is I'm just giving it to that whoever takes that scrap paper, no?
Paper
That's
gun.
all. Because they say you can put it as frames, but how many we will make frames and keep?
How many? Yeah, that's the thing.
It's
if
not
you have 4-5 years, 4-5 years collected,
yes.
you're
And
going to put all
nowadays,
in house.
throwing in water bodies are also is polluting the entire environment.
Yeah,
so we cannot
that's
do
the thing.
that. So actually, that was the last stage where they said you can offer it to fire, but my heart doesn't agree to all this. So I just leave it. I just give it to that for recycling of papers, Mataji. That's
Yeah, that's a
Mataji,
good idea.
these flowers can be also the flowers which have been removed can be actually potted into tulsi plant, Mataji.
yes,
Can
yes,
it
yes,
be
yes,
done?
yes. You can do it.
Okay.
You can do
Okay.
it. Or you can keep an empty pot, Mataji, and put some soil or something and
Layers.
keep putting this dried up flowers, and that will become manure and put it to all your trees and plants.
Yeah,
You can do
maybe
that.
that is a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And if you don't have, just sprinkle Ganga water, tulsi, haldi water, and put it in that bin. If you are not able to throw it anywhere. That's
Okay. Yeah, got it, Mataji.
yeah,
Thank
Mataji
you.
is
Hare
mentioning you can dry those and use it for the plants later as manure actually.
And then you can put the garden also. Garden
Yeah.
also under the trees, so it'll serve as manure.
Yes, yes, yes.
No,
If you
Mataji.
have a garden, no issue. Just put it there nicely. It will serve as a nice,
Yeah.
offered things to Krishna, so it will become a nice
Yes.
manure for the plants actually.
So the plants will also get Sukrati,
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Offer flowers when you put on trees.
Yes, 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 yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, in the class you said that a devotee should be in such a state that the Lord also should be pleased and everybody should like the devotee. So only then he will be eligible to go back to Godhead.
Yes.
So in that case, Mataji, we have heard many kirtans in that bhakti. They say no, Mataji. Chauragra Ganyam. He steals everybody. So all his wealth, all his family, and all his friends and everything.
Correct.
So how does that happen, Mataji? Because if he's pleased by, everybody likes him. So, he will never lose anybody, no, Mataji, like
No,
friends or
he will
family.
not lose anybody. He will become so dear to everybody that everybody will be fond of him. He is not going to lose anybody, Mataji. But it is just that he is not attached to anybody. Everybody will have a natural affection towards him. He will have compassion towards all the jivas, but he will be only attached to the Supreme Lord, Mataji. And the Lord will be so pleased with him that all other living entities will become actually very, very favorable to such a soul, Mataji. See, Srila Prabhupada, when he started this mission and he was all alone and there were so many things, so many of his god brothers opposing him. But after what he has done, he has become such a glorious Acharya. Because he has served the Lord, he has become dear to so many people who actually know about him. See, people who don't know, we can't say. But people who know about him, who have read his entire biography, they love Prabhupada like anything. So it's not that he is losing anything. Mataji, in what sense are you asking, will he lose his friends or anything? Mataji, the soul who is attached to Krishna and wants to attain Krishna, he doesn't want any other things. He has no feelings or anything towards anybody. In the sense, he has risen above all these dualities. He sees everything as Lord's creation. He sees Lord in them also. He doesn't see them as friends and relatives, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. That Chauragra Ganyam, Samasta Chauram, Dhanam Cha, Manam Cha.
Yeah,
So
you have taken everything from me because you are the supreme soul. You are the biggest thief. You have taken everything from me. But Mataji, when Krishna has stolen everything from the jiva, Krishna gives himself to the jiva. And whoever gets Krishna, he doesn't require anything else. No, Mataji?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, but I could not understand, Mataji. Like in
What
one
is
of
the
the
question you're asking that, you have taken my relatives, you have taken my friends. So what is the that particular verse saying?
Not the verse actually, Mataji. In one of the speeches of Amarendra Prabhu, I have heard this, Mataji. Like if Krishna is more pleased, he will take away all your wealth,
Correct.
your family
Correct.
and your friends and everybody.
Correct.
So in that case, Mataji.
So Mataji, what is that you have lost in it? If Krishna, Mataji, even Prabhupada has mentioned in his song which he wrote when he left to America, he also mentions, in fact, this was one verse which he read in Bhagavatam, that Krishna, in order to show special mercy, he takes away all your wealth, opulence, relatives, family. And how
Yes,
this
Mataji.
special mercy? Yeah, tell me, Mataji.
Tasyaham anigrihanami arishe taddanam shanaihi.
So why, Mataji? Why does he do that? Why does he do that?
Kinchana Vittaya, Mataji. Because those who have
So
lost
that we
everything.
come to Krishna as the last resort.
And Krishna only will become your everything, Mataji. That is the special mercy. And ultimately, why we are doing Krishna Bhakti? So that only Krishna we can serve. And through Krishna, everything else will be taken care. So Krishna gives this special mercy to the Jiva where he will detach everything from him, remove everything so that he will only be near Krishna. Like how
Yes,
Kunti Maharani also said, no, that if we get all these troubles and turmoils or whatever in our life, let them be repeated because then you will be there with us. So Mataji, what you are saying is the special mercy so that you will not think of anybody else. You will not try to endeavor for anything else, but only be near Krishna, serving Krishna. So Mataji, some people voluntarily do it. See, in Bhakti, what is the point of renunciation? That gradually you have to give up everything and become attached to Krishna. For some people, Krishna will only facilitate this. He will remove everything around them and everybody around him so that they will only depend on him and be near him.
Mataji, in that case, we won't feel that loneliness and vacuumness, Mataji. Mataji, like a higher level Gaura Kishore Babaji Maharaj and all, he is in different platform, Mataji. So he will avoid. Purposely he will avoid. But we being in this material world without any means like a association with devotees is okay, but without any contacts with anybody, or if Krishna removes that thing, how do we take it? Because it's not, because we were in that. Immediately if it removes, it will take some time and we'll be left alone, no Mataji.
Yes. So Mataji, that is why you have to start practicing more and more intensely your bhakti so that you will get deep attachment towards Krishna. And we also know for 100 reasons, and we also are convinced with this, Mataji, there may be hundreds of people around us. But if there is any typical problem or very different problem, sometimes nobody can help us except the Lord. We may be surrounded with hundreds of people, but our suffering, our pain becomes ours only. Nobody can help except Krishna. So if we can develop the deep faith that only Krishna can help me, then, all that other things who have gone or what is not there will not affect you.
That's true, Mataji. That's so true.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you,
Mataji,
Mataji.
if I understand right, this happens only in a very advanced stage of a devotee,
Yes,
isn't it?
that is the point. See,
The
he will
last
not remove for
stage.
everybody. For
Yes,
everybody,
Mataji.
Krishna will not remove. Whoever is capable of coming to Krishna, he is sitting. If you see the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, Tesham evanu tampartham, aham ajnanadam tamaha, I will remove the ignorance, I will remove the darkness. But he will see the surrender of the soul, and then only he will do this, Mataji. If for neophytes and beginners, if he removes everything, they will develop inimical attitude towards Krishna. Krishna, you have done this because I have started my bhakti, I will not come to you only, and they'll walk out of it also.
Yes, Mataji. Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
will not do to everybody this, Mataji. If he is removing all whatever is around you or whoever is around you, you have to consider it as a very special mercy. That means Krishna is looking at you for whatever reason.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, somebody like my mother, Mataji, who didn't even get a chance to utter the name of Krishna because we were not into Krishna consciousness 2 years back.
Okay.
So what can we do for that kind of a soul, Mataji?
You only pray, Mataji. You only pray for them.
On behalf of them. Will it reach them, Mataji?
Yes. You can just pray for this soul, that Krishna, you shower your mercy on them. That's all. Mataji, you cannot say that she hasn't taken the name of Krishna. Even if she has accidentally called a person by name Krishna also, that Sukriti is there with her, Mataji.
Used to do Vishnu Sahasranama every
Then that's
day.
it. Then no need to think anything, Mataji. She has taken the names of the Lord.
Thank you, Mataji. Your classes are very, very nice. I actually look forward when your class is there. And today when I saw you, it was like, thank God, thanks Krishna, Mataji is there. Thank you, Mataji.
It's all Narayani Mataji who gave me the seva yesterday. She said, Mataji, the speaker is not coming, so you please take up the seva. I said, yeah, I'm at home today, so I will take up actually.
Thank you,
Even I
Mataji.
enjoy your classes, Mataji. I really enjoy your classes.
Thanks a lot,
We
Mataji.
all,
Thank you so
Mataji,
much.
we all are fortunate to get your association, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Mataji,
It was
all
wonderful,
whatever
Mataji.
we have discussed, very easy to say, but when we start implementing, we will start feeling. But that is what we have to do. As we are progressing our bhakti, we have to keep pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones. So, and for that, All these practical tips, what are being given, we have to keep following. And one thing, see Krishna everywhere, see Krishna in everybody. And if we see that, Mataji, half our problems are also solved. We will not be angry on people. We will not retaliate when they are saying anything. We will not react. We will be silent and peaceful, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. It was a wonderful class, Mataji. All the question and answers. It was a practical session, Mataji. Thank you so
Mataji,
much.
your doubt is clear now about that Chaura Ganya?
Yes, Mataji. I always have this doubt because
Mataji,
if
he will not
sees
give
everything.
that kind of special mercy to everybody, Mataji. Prabhupada also said that, when he lost his business, he was not doing well in his business, his wife was not supporting, and he had to leave his house, and he was sitting on the ghats of Ganga, and there's no way to go. Then he realized that there is some special mercy of Krishna because he is actually planned something else for me. And that is how he became a sannyasi. He went to America and he established 108 temples. He set up this entire Krishna conscious movement, Mataji. To do that, he had to be removed from his family setting. So Prabhupada got this special mercy. That's what he writes in his memoir, Prabhupada Leela Amrit, that this was the mercy of Krishna that I mean, everybody left him. In fact, he had to leave some, everybody left him. None of his god brothers supported him. He was only dependent on Krishna. When he was sailing in Jaladut also, he got a heart attack. He was thinking of Krishna. He was thinking of Rupa Goswami. And that's why he was able to set up this ISKCON and this Krishna conscious movement. For higher purposes, Krishna will sometimes do such things, Mataji, but that's not with everybody.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Understood, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Can
Mataji,
we end
there's
the
a
session,
question.
Mataji?
Yes,
There's one question in the box, Mataji. It's not
Mataji, in the
answered.
chat, Mataji is asking, when you kill the ants and everything, no? So what shloka do you say that Mataji is asking?
Mahamantra, nothing else. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is good enough, Mataji.
Okay. Because Krishna says, no, Mataji, that yad karoshi yadashnasi, whatever you do.
Yes,
So,
offer it. Just chant for that soul, because for whatever reason, it's going to die or it has died. So just chant for it, Mataji. That's all.
Yes, Mataji. Shall we end the session, Mataji?
Yes, yes, sure, Mataji. I think I've
Hare
taken
Krishna.
a lot of time.
But it was so nice, Mataji.
Thanks
Hare
a lot,
Krishna. Thank you so much.
Vancha
Vancha
kalpatarubhyascha
kalpatarubhyascha
kripa
kripa
sindhubhya
sindhubhya
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
Srila Prabhupada
अनंत
ki
कोटि
jai.
वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील
Bhagavatam
प्रभुपाद
ki
की
jai.
जय
All glories to
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
All
Krishna,
glories to the
Mataji.
assembled devotees.
Thank you,
Pranam.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I end the session, Mataji?
Yes. Thanks you, Mata. Thank you, Mata.
Krishna.